two. Not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
We get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay. Let's see who's in here. G from the land, Alton is here, Mr. Elevation, Donna, Queen Amoni Huey. All right, let's get into it. Kalika Lulina, I hope I said that right. Buckhorse DC, 57 Beige Fox. All right, let's get into it. Coco Marshmallows, Trisha. All right, BB is here. Okay, Love Christie is in the virtual building. That's a G. All right, everyone hit that like button. Thank you in advance. Jago the Rogue. All right, Youngish Turnip is here. Okay, so shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they'll be putting in work. I see you, chosen one. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Everyone hit that like button, double check to make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you haven't been receiving your notifications.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so that being said, let's get into it because there's a whole lot going on with this Nolan Wells case. There's a lot going on. People are being real silent. People have gotten lawyers. There's a judge supposedly involved in this. They're saying that these people have parents that are pretty much well-to-do doctors, lawyers. Here's supposedly two of the parents right here. Dr. Benjamin Hudson is one of the fathers, and then Ashley Cole is the Chancery Court Judge of Jackson. Okay, and so we're going to get into it because what really happened, and now we're finding out that there was a whole altercation, okay, before Nolan came up missing. You know, Black people are going to have to learn the hard way, some of us, because at the end of the day, if you're out there with a bunch of white folk and you're the only one that looks like you, and some sort of altercation happens, who do you think everybody's going to turn on? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the Black person, okay? And that's just how it goes. Now, with that being said, let's get into some of this, what people are saying on TikTok, and then we'll get into some of this information. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Not sure why that happened. Hold on. Okay, now let's try that again.
The situation in a real perspective, because we're gonna talk for a minute. But when Carmelo Anthony did what he did, you had majority of the Caucasians in the message area of videos, of all videos made by Carmelo Anthony, automatically saying he's guilty, automatically saying, well, he shouldn't have done this, he should have never brought this, he should have never did it, disregarding the fact that he was touched first. But the fact that they kept on pushing that Carmelo Anthony was guilty even before any verdicts or any court. Now the shoe is on the other foot, and Nolan Wells has come up unalive, dead, and now it's, let's see how the court plays out, let's see the evidence, let's see what it happens. We don't know what happened. Now it's, we don't know what happened. What we do know happened is 4 people went out, 3 people came back, 1 person did not. The African-American young man did not come back. All of a sudden, it's an island full of people, and it's a mystery now. So you mean to tell me that Nolan Wells goes off with a girl, and then the girl, they split up, they split their ways, and all of a sudden, he decides to go take a swim in a current that's, you know, a strong current by himself. Nobody sees him goes out. Like, there's no reason for him to go out in the water if he's already chasing a girl. That it doesn't make sense. And then the fact that it's video surfacing of alleged arguments between that group before it even happened. And then they all go back without him. And then as they go back to search, allegedly these guys are going to, you know, one of them go out to eat or some go out to eat, but there's no sense of urgency to find him. There is questions, but it's the fact that they're already being pushed to be innocent rather than guilty. But in the Carmelo case, it was guilty, and then you have to prove your innocence against a corrupted system. See, that's the double standard. You want to have all the grace when it comes to Caucasians about certain situations, and then when it's the Black people, it's automatically, well, what did they do? Did they do this and that? Or did they go? Did they do this the right way? It's like, it's always a problem. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is treating people the same. Because if we have questions in the Carmelo Anthony case, we should have questions in this case. There shouldn't be no wait for the evidence. You didn't care to wait for the evidence when the Carmelo Anthony, you already had made your choice if he was guilty or not before he even went to court. Similar to the young lady here that was with a group of white individuals, and they said that she got drunk and fell off a porch and died. Nobody seen nothing. Nobody was there. It's just a mystery death again. The only African American got so drunk that she passed out and fell off the porch. Come on, let's be honest here. It happens oh so often when alcohol is involved, when one black person is involved amongst a group of Caucasians or white people.
Speaking of alcohol being involved, on yesterday, there was a report where they said that there was no alcohol or illegal substances involved and that they would have more information after the toxicology report. But clearly, they're saying that there was alcohol involved when they were on the beach and stuff. So I don't know why they said that in the report, but let's keep going.
However you want to call it. When a group amongst those people are involved and alcohol is involved, the hostility always transfer to the one black person. You know why? Because white people are automatically, it's in their DNA to be thrill seekers, to take risks, and to be aggressive when drinking. Or to let out their aggressions, hence mosh pits and things of that nature. So when you add all that, and there's a deep secret root of hate or jealousy, it always reflects to pushing it on the one black person that's there. And I know people say, well, it was another black person that, I don't care. It's not enough, and they're not in the same vicinity. They're not on the same boat. They're not able to look out for each other. It's one person with that group, and now all of a sudden you don't know what happened. Don't be the only one. The biggest message is don't be the only one. Stop putting yourself in these situations. Stop going abroad or to islands or to resorts and stuff to where nobody knows you. You know what I'm saying? With a group of people and you're the only one. Stop doing that. Even if it's 2 or 3 of you, you have a better chance. But even if it's 2 or 3 of you and it's 100 of them, don't go. Don't go. Sure, can your own kind be just as ruthless? Absolutely. Absolutely. But you give yourself the best chance. You give yourself the best chance to be noticed. Make sure people know where you are. Make sure people know what's going on. Start putting air tags in your clothes, whatever. I don't care. Recording devices, whatever. Just don't be the only one. I just want, it needs to be clarity on how we're going to see people, because we see so much of the hate. It's Mississippi. We're not fools. We know what goes on in Mississippi. It's been going on forever. Forever. It's always been like that in Mississippi. Everybody knows. These little small sundown towns and all that, it's always been that way.
Okay, No Lies Detected. No Lies Detected. He had a lot to say. Now, I let you all listen to that whole video because I was actually uploading something. I just realized that it didn't come through. So I had to re-upload it. Okay, so this whole thing is just really sad, but these kids know exactly what happened, and it's real interesting that they all have gone and gotten lawyers. They're not on social media posting, any condolences, RIP to our friend. They're not doing any of that. They've literally shut down their social media. Okay, this is a sign of guilt, because what are you doing? And why would you leave your friend? Even if you couldn't find them, like I told you all yesterday, it would seem to me that they would have stayed and tried to help in the search. Like, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And we have seen this story time and time again, like I said. So let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. A young man who went missing, 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, has been found deceased, sadly. Let's get into it. Nolan's body was found at about 8:45 a.m. this morning, by a park ranger on the northwest end of Horn Island. Please pay attention. Nolan's mother had reported him missing Saturday night after he left with some friends to go on a little small boat, for July the 4th, and he never returned. Please pay attention. Officials are reporting that there was no indication of alcohol having been used or any sort of illegal substances. But of course, the coroner will have more information on that after the investigation is concluded and the toxicology report has been reviewed. Please pay attention. Saturday, Nolan supposedly headed out to Horn Island with friends. Now, his best friend, 17-year-old Javon Williams, says they were supposed to be on the same boat, but the boat filled up, and so Williams took another boat. Now, he claims that he saw Nolan on the island, and the last time he remembered seeing him was about 4 p.m. on Saturday. He claims that Nolan visited some girl and that he also chatted with other friends. Okay, please pay attention. What I find interesting is that he says he visited with some girl, but didn't say the girl's name, or where Nolan knew her from, or why she was there, or who she was even there with. And I find that all very interesting because this is supposed to be his best friend. Also, I think it's interesting that Nolan didn't have his phone. Now, reports say that both young men left their phones on the boat that Nolan rode out on. Okay, but I thought they were on different boats, so how would Williams's phone be on the same boat as Nolan's? Okay, anyway, I just find it interesting, but also the mother, supposedly someone brought the phone to her. Okay, so like I said, young people always have their phones with them. For them to go somewhere and just leave the phone on a boat, that doesn't make any sense to me, and I quite frankly don't believe it. Okay, please pay attention. How come the friends are being so closed mouth? They're not really giving any details, not really saying much of what happened. Okay. And the fact that they knew he was missing and they just left and went on about their merry way and went home, didn't stay to try to help look or, be engaged in the search efforts or anything. I find that very interesting. Okay. Please pay attention. I really feel that parents of children who look like me should absolutely be telling their teenagers, their young people, about going off with people who don't look like them all by themselves and being the lone one. I mean, I know that we've heard so many of these stories. It just seems that at some point we just have to wake up and realize that you could absolutely be putting yourself in danger. Okay, please pay attention. I mean, let's not forget about 14-year-old Jason Smith, who went out with friends who didn't look like him, okay, back in 2011, and then he turned up dead in a lake. Okay, organs missing. His father said that he had been R-worded as well as some other things done, and also he had been beaten. Okay, but no one seems to know what happened to him and why he was in that lake. His father said he would never have gotten in there on his own because he can't swim. Okay, please pay attention. And then we can't forget about Kendrick Johnson down there in Valdosta, okay, where he was found rolled up in a mat, and the last two people that saw him alive were people who didn't look like him. And their father is an FBI agent. Also, Jason Smith, one of the 8 people that were last seen with him, well, one of their fathers is also an FBI agent, which I find very interesting, don't you? And then there was the incident with Tamla Horsford in 2018, who went to a home of some football moms to spend the night, okay, and turned up deceased in their backyard the next morning. And nobody knew what happened, saying that maybe she was a little tipsy and fell over the balcony, which was only about 5 feet tall. Okay, please pay attention. Then there was the Jamaican immigrant, Peter Bernardo Spencer, who was 29 years old when he went on a cabin trip with some of his friends who didn't look like him. And then he turned up deceased. They filled him full of lead, okay, 9 times. Okay, 9 times they injected him with lead. Now, they claimed that he was acting hysterical and that he put them in imminent danger, and so they had to do it. But if you ask me, it sounds like that movie with Ice-T from back in the day, Surviving the Game. Okay, was he out there to be hunted? Okay, please pay attention. And let's not forget about Bakari Henderson, who took a trip to Greece with 9 of his friends who didn't look like him. But when he got to Greece, he was beaten by the Serbs. Okay, they literally beat him until he was no longer here. And none of his friends who went on that trip with him bothered to lift a finger to help. Okay, please pay attention. And also, just a couple of years ago on this app, there was a family trying to find their 13-year-old daughter, okay, who went on a trip with people who didn't look like her, with her friend's family, and she had just spoken to her father like 20 minutes before. The police then came knocking on their door saying that the family was saying they couldn't find her, that she must have fallen in the water and didn't have on a life jacket. Do you all remember that story? Because I clearly do. Okay, please pay attention. And then just a few weeks ago, there was a teenager about 14 or 15 years old who was with a family who didn't look like him, and they left him in a lake. Okay, they left him in a lake, were making monkey noises and taunting him, knowing that he can't swim. He had on a life jacket, but it was too small for him. And then luckily there was another family who didn't look like him who ended up giving him a lift, okay, who ended up helping him. But they left him out there knowing that he could swim. And what do you think that was all about? Okay, please pay attention. I'm just going to say, at the end of the day, sugar and salt look just alike. And by the time you realize that you've gotten the wrong one, it's usually too late. Okay, people really need to start being a lot more cautious, especially in this climate with all of the things that are going on that are causing racial tensions. People that look like me being found as strange fruit, okay, hanging from trees, and then for the narrative to be put out that they did these things to themselves. You all know that these people didn't do these things to themselves, okay? The people who look like me, you absolutely know that there's no one who looks like me that would ever do that to themselves, not from a tree. We all know that, okay? So it's time for us to wise up and make sure that you're talking to your children and being extra careful, okay, whether they think you're being strict or not. Sometimes it's best to just hurt their feelings and tell them, no, you're not going, flat out, period. Okay, you could be saving their lives. Okay, please pay attention. Hello, everyone, I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Okay, that's the sad fact of the matter. That is the sad fact of the matter. And even some white people are saying that Black people don't need to be out with white people by themselves. And let's not forget how white women tell their children that if they get lost, to go find a Black person, okay?
Take, and it's either going to get me canceled or people are going to be like, you're right. So here we go. I'm just going to say it. Black people have got to stop hanging out with groups of white people. And I mean that. If you're gonna be the only Black person in that group, go home. Go home. Because these days, you just can't trust white people anymore. Obviously. It happens time and time and time again. You see one Black person hanging out with their group of white friends, and they're like, oh, I've known these guys for forever. We grew up with them. I'm the only Black person in the high school or something like that. Especially down here in the South, okay? Down here in the South. Obviously, we realize that these pieces of crap, the white people, will turn on you. They will turn on you quick. So not only do y'all have to be worried about the police, now you need to be worried about your group of white friends that you grew up with. And am I saying every white person's like that? No, obviously not. Okay, but better be safe than sorry, right? And that's a shame. But I just keep seeing it happen. And like over the past 2 or 3 years, especially, if you know what I'm talking about. People have just gotten louder and prouder about it. So really it all boils down to like a lack of empathy these days. That's a whole nother subject though. But yeah, and don't come for me about my hair. I just got them running 5 miles.
Okay, y'all heard what she said. She even advised Black people not to be doing it. I mean, that should be common knowledge amongst Black people. I don't know why some of our people haven't gotten it yet.
They did it. As soon as I saw this picture, first thought of my mind was these motherfuckers killed that kid. It was literally the first thought I had in my head. I fucking hate you racist pieces of shit. They did find his body, so we'll have to wait and hear what the coroner has to say. But knowing how the cops operate, they'll probably rule it a suicide. Just like they did that Black kid that hung himself with 2 broken legs. Yeah, that happened too. That was last year. They claimed a kid with 2 broken legs hung himself. You white supremacist motherfuckers got another thing coming. Because you're going to have to deal with people like me.
Alice says, who gives a funk? If Black people want to constantly be stupid, why are we defending these damn... Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, this was a child, beloved. Okay, he was just a teenager. And not to mention, where do you think he learned that from? To trust these people. He learned that from his parents, I'm sure. So I'm not going to hold him responsible or accountable. It's not like he was 30 years old. Okay? Now, with that being said, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Some people that still have a many of your questions, which I still have a many of your questions as well. But let me show y'all what I ended up finding out last night about Javon Williams and what he had to say about 18-year-old Nolan Wells and the last time that he saw him and around what time it was and who he saw him with. This is what somebody dropped down in my comment section last night on a video that I did about 18-year-old Nolan Wells. And if somebody get in my comments saying, oh, how old is he again? I'll only delete your comment. I'm not going to entertain you. It says Javon Williams told the press that he last saw Nolan Wells for the last time shortly after 4 p.m. on Saturday, July 4th, 2026, while they were on Horn Island. Williams stated that Nolan was last seen talking with a girl. So therefore, I did more digging into this to find out exactly what Javon Williams was saying. So it's being said that 17-year-old Javon Williams is the best friend, or said to be the best friend of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Wells headed to Horn Island on Saturday with friends. His best friend, 17-year-old Javon Williams, said he was supposed to be on the same boat, but it filled up. Williams rode out on a different boat, but he saw Wells on the island. He believes he saw Wells for the last time after 4 p.m. Saturday. Now, the way that this part is put, I feel like is very important. It says Wells visited with a girl, Williams said, but also chatted with other friends in the crowd. As soon as we got out there, Williams said, he told me that he loved me. Wells always had Williams' back. If somebody talked bad about Williams, Wells would stick up for his friend. It also says both young men left their phones on the boat that Wells rode out on. Williams later retrieved his phone, while Wells' mother found her son's phone through location services, Hand said. Wells was last seen near the western tip of Horn Island where the current is strong. Trace Carter talked to Wells before the island trip. Carter told Wells, just hit me up when you get back. Just be careful, bro. Watch out for yourself. Wells responded, I got you. I'll hit you up later. Remember what Javon Williams said. Javon Williams said that he last seen 18-year-old Nolan Wells around after 4 p.m. and he saw him visiting with a girl as well as chatting with some friends. Could this be the moment that right here where it says Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him? Could this be the moment where the friends was trying to get Nolan Wells to get onto the boat, and instead of Nolan Wells getting onto the boat, that he decided to go ahead and stay? And if that's the case, it would also explain how Katie was able to hear Nolan Wells' friends saying to get on the boat. As many of people are saying that there's no cell service on that island, and or it's very rare that you get cell service on that island. So therefore, it's unlikely that she heard that over the phone while she was on the phone with Nolan Wells, which means that she would have had to be in the same vicinity as Nolan Wells, as well as those friends, in order to hear those friends telling Nolan Wells to get on the boat. I also feel like it's very important that they say that Javon Williams said that Nolan Wells visited with a girl and chatted with some friends. To me, visited says that you spent some time. So meaning that the time that Nolan Wells and also Katie spent together, it doesn't sound like it was brief. It sounds like it was brief when he chatted with some friends, because when you chat with somebody, that could be quick. That tends to be short. But when you visit somebody, that implies spending time visiting. Again, this is only my opinion. And the reason why I'm talking about 18-year-old Nolan Wells and what happened to 18-year-old Nolan Wells is because I was directly asked from somebody very, very, very close to the family that asked me if I could help with putting this story out and helping the story to circulate, so therefore more people know about 18-year-old Nolan Wells and what I believe may have happened in this situation. So therefore, that's why I put my opinion out, because I was directly asked. People are still questioning, why would anybody leave their friends? There's a many different circumstances why somebody would part with their friends. I see that some people are saying that there was supposedly an argument and or a fight between Nolan Wells and also those friends. But in that video and clip or voice that I heard and everything like that, you can't really tell who that is. That could have been anybody at any different time. There's so many people out there, and that could have been so many different people that was arguing, as it doesn't show who was on that video. At least I haven't found a video of it where it shows clearly who was on that video at all. But we do know that 17-year-old Javon Williams said that he left his phone along with 18-year-old Nolan Wells, but Javon Williams went and got his phone. So it's saying that Nolan Wells never really was thinking about his phone to go get his phone. After all, they're saying that there's no signal on that island, so therefore, what would be the benefit of your phone if you cannot use it? So by Javon Williams saying that he actually saw 18-year-old Nolan Wells visiting with a girl and also chatting with some friends, it says to me that it is very possible that at that moment that those friends were trying to convince 18-year-old Nolan Wells to get on the boat. 18-year-old Nolan Wells may have been saying he didn't want to get on the boat, that he wanted to go ahead and chill, that he was going to be good. He'll find a different way. He'll find a different ride. He'll get on a different boat, whatever it may be. But it had to have been something that those friends were like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get on the boat and we're going to go ahead and leave. And also, remember, it said that Javon Williams and also 18-year-old Nolan Wells both left their phones on the same boat that 18-year-old Nolan Wells read out there on, which would mean that that phone would be in which boat? The boats that he rode out there with the friends with. And that's why the friends would have the phone. I truly feel like those friends could have ditched that phone at any moment. Heck, when they got in the boat and heck, when they paddled off and seen his phone right there, they could have easily just threw that phone out. I'm feeling like they may have held that phone, hoping that if 18-year-old Nolan Wells didn't know anybody else's phone number to be able to reach anybody, that he probably knew his own phone number and probably might have even called his own phone, or may would call his own phone. But I'm pretty sure that those friends would know that that phone would have location services on it, as it said that they have been friends for years, which would mean that they would know if Nolan Wells would keep that location on his phone, which would say, yes, 18-year-old Nolan Wells keeps that location on his phone. I see some people questioning, well, why would the boys get lawyers? Why would they get lawyers if you're innocent? You don't need lawyers. That's not absolutely true. We done seen innocent people be charged just because it truly seemed like and or things pointed that they might have been the ones a part of foul play. And when you have so many people that's pointing fingers at you and this, that, and the third and accusing you and such and saying this and saying that, it's only smart and only right to get a lawyer. And that way, nobody can accidentally take what you're saying and flip it around and or to try to use it against you in a way that might even jeopardize your freedom. Innocent people are found guilty all the time. Let's not act like they aren't. No, I'm not saying that I'm right in this situation or anything like that. I'm saying that this is what my mind and my brain is getting from this situation. And this is my speculation and my opinion of what may have occurred or transpired from the details that I've been finding. But at the end of the day, we know it's best that many of people get up and talk about 18-year-old Nolan Wells, regardless if they're just putting out their opinion, due to the fact that we want the story of 18-year-old Nolan Wells to circulate. So therefore, in hopes that they'll do a thorough investigation, rather than ending up saying that there's some type of foul play and sweeping this under the rug. By them saying that many of people are stopping to care about what happened to 18-year-old Nolan Wells, they know that there's a lot of eyes on everything. And when there's a lot of eyes and a lot of hearts on a situation to care about that situation, they tend to take it more seriously and they tend to investigate it more thoroughly.
Sorry, but I have to beg to differ. No, they don't. I mean, they played in our faces with the Carmelo Anthony case. They still did all the blatantly illegal things, the shady tactics and all of that. And we were all watching. Everybody's eyes was on it. And they still did it. So I have to disagree. Now, what he's doing is he's giving them a whole lot of benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to, because like I said, I've heard these stories far too many times to just dismiss it away and act like it's no big deal. Because here's the thing, even if the friends left him out there, how come nobody brought him back? The girl that he was talking to, the friends that he chatted with allegedly, why wasn't he able to ride back with some of them? Okay, something definitely is very suspicious about this whole thing. One box says, Queen, you be picking them bones out. Okay, thank you for that, beloved, and thank you for contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Yeah, he sounds like he's just, this is a whole lot of speculation that he's doing. Let's just try to follow the facts and what's been said and where that leads us. I mean, of course, we'll have our own opinions and we'll speculate as well, but he just came up with a whole scenario that sounds so far-fetched.
So it's better for people to be talking about 18-year-old Nolan Wells rather than not talking about 18-year-old Nolan Wells, because it's going to help the story of 18-year-old Nolan Wells circulate. So therefore, it gets out there even more and people know about it even more. And absolutely, there's always the alternative that things might come back that there was absolutely no foul play whatsoever at all. Right now, my mind is not saying that there was no foul play, due to the fact that it seems like the person that last seen 18-year-old Nolan Wells is hiding the fact that they were the last person to see 18-year-old Nolan Wells alive. I'm still concerned and worried with who was the initial person that brought Katie out there to the island. Who was she originally supposed to leave the island with, and who she was out there on the island there hanging out with? Because still, to me, when it says Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went and got her, that says to me that they had to go get her, somebody different, and it's not the initial ride. So if the ride of Nolan Wells,
Hold on, let me
who
read what
leave
that
the
says.
island with, and
It says Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came on. He came out on or in. Katie made it home because she was on another boat with different people. Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went and got her. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Me and my family have talked, called, and are sending up prayers to bring Nolan home. Okay, let me tell you why this doesn't make any sense. Let me tell you why this doesn't make any sense. Now, think about this. So, the friends are supposedly telling him, come on, Nolan, come on, get on the boat, get on the boat. But Nolan's refusing to get on the boat because he's standing there talking to Katie. He's visiting with Katie. Okay, so let's say the friends are on the boat and their boat leaves. Now he's still talking to Katie. You mean to tell me Katie didn't see the boat leave? Because from what that note says, it sounded like Katie thought he was getting on the boat with his friends. So, what did she do? Left to go get on the boat that she came on, and where was Nolan? Standing there by himself? Because either he would have gone with Katie or he would have gotten on the boat with his friends. Like, this doesn't make any sense. This does not make any. Yes, Katie is white. Have you ever seen a black person named Katie? He was literally the only black person out there, beloved, aside from his friend Javon Williams, who was not on the same boat as him. So, who exactly left him? His friends or Katie and them? Okay, because Katie rode with somebody. Now, so, and why isn't Katie speaking? Why is this person, Gracie, whoever wrote this note, why Gracie McCormick, why are they speaking for Katie? Why isn't Katie posted on social media and saying anything about this? Like, something real crazy has happened here. Now they're saying, okay, we're calling him to get on the boat, but he's going with Katie. I don't know. Something is not right. But let's keep going. I've heard enough from this dude because he's putting on a whole cape, and it sounds crazy. Hold on. Now, let me see here. Okay, so Nolan Xavier Wells, 18 years old, traveled to Horn Island, Mississippi with friends for a 4th of July outing. According to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and search coordinators, he was last seen around 3 p.m. Now, that's interesting because according to this guy's report, the friend, Javon, saw him around 4. And I do believe that's the same report that I read as well. But right here, they're saying 3 o'clock. Okay, he was last seen around 3 p.m. on the north side of the island. Search volunteers stated that he was last observed talking with a girl. Now, his friends returned to the mainland without him, reportedly believing he had arranged another ride back. That detail has been widely reported, but investigators have not suggested it involving any criminal wrongdoing. Nolan's phone was not with him when he disappeared. His mother clarified that she and his father had possession of his phone, explaining why some people believed they were still seeing its location. Now, on July the 6th, a body believed to be Nolan was found near the west or northwest end of Horn Island. His family later confirmed it was him, although authorities said official identification and autopsy procedures are still underway. Now, there are social media posts and videos circulating that claim Nolan was seen arguing with someone before he vanished. Okay, now, law enforcement has not confirmed those claims. No official statement says an argument occurred or that it was connected to his disappearance. Okay, some videos online are being shared without context, and there has been no public verification of what they depict. So, police or public reporting contains very little in the way of direct statements from Nolan's friends. The main points that have emerged are that they went to Horn Island together by boat. Nolan became separated from the group. The friends reportedly believe he had found another way back to the mainland, which is why they left without him. Beyond that, no detailed interviews with his friends have been released by credible news organizations. And the last official update says the Jackson County Sheriff's Office has emphasized that this remains an active investigation. Investigators are continuing to interview people who were on the island and gathered evidence. An autopsy has been scheduled, and authorities have asked the public not to speculate while the investigation continues. Well, they know that people are going to speculate. I don't even know why they bothered to ask. We're definitely going to speculate. Okay, we always do. Now let's go to this video, these videos really quick. Now this is video footage from when they were out there on the boats. And you can see also that it looked like there was an argument, the argument that they're talking about, the altercation.
Nolan Wells is seen getting into a heated verbal dispute before he went missing.
These are Nolan Wells' friends that didn't remember anything, but they remembered to deactivate every single social media account that they have. Them, his girlfriend, their parents, all the accounts deactivated and wiped clean. All of them. Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, Morgan, jail. Jail for everyone. Because they're already circling the wagons. They're already lawyered up. But wait, their parents are doctors, lawyers, and judges. This is the father of one of his friends. And this is the stepmama, Ashley Cole, court judge for Jackson, George, and Greene counties in the beautiful state of Mississippi, has already deactivated her account. Deactivated all the accounts, and they have all unfollowed Nolan. And this is Katie, who is either a friend, close friend, or girlfriend, who is supposedly, allegedly cooperating with authorities.
Well, here we are again, folks. And you know what I always say.
This is Latasha Harsford, the lady that went missing, or not went missing, but got killed at that, Tamala Horsford. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Latasha. I'm thinking about Latasha Harlins. But Tamala Horsford, the lady that went to that overnight thing and turned up dead the next day. Okay, I'm going to skip past this because I think he has music playing coming up.
It's right here for a July the 4th excursion.
Now, right here, these are him and his friends. This is that same judge, Ashley Cole, okay, deleted her social media account. Why would these people delete their social media accounts? Like, that is so suspicious. Every last one of these people. Now, I had to mute this because this guy's playing a lot of music on here. Now, here's another one of his friends, okay? These are all of his friends. Now, their social medias are deactivated. Every last one of them. Don't y'all find that interesting? That's him right there. So I don't know, honey. This is just all real strange, like I said. And I'm pretty sure the last thing they're going to say is they're going to come out and rule that there's no foul play. But like that guy said, they're already the YT people, they're already trying to give these kids the benefit of the doubt. Okay, I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt because these things happen all the time, and I find it very interesting. Okay, I just think there's more to it that we don't know yet, but hopefully we find out. Okay, so let's keep going. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
About Nolan Wells, a black kid that was unalived or found unalived after hanging with some white friends. That happens more often than you could imagine. It doesn't get reported on, but oftentimes people go on camping trips to sacrifice somebody. And if you're black or from a different nationality, you're a prime target. So it's foolish to think that you can go out there in the woods with people that you don't have no history with and think you're going to make it back out. But if you make it a racial thing, it'll make you blind to your own race or your own family or your own group trying to do the same thing to you. They may not take you to the woods, but people are into sacrificing people. The way to protect yourself is discernment. When something ain't right, it ain't right. If you feel something is wrong, it's wrong. For instance, one of the attempts, they had me jump off a cliff. And if I had done it without asking them to go first, I would have done it incorrectly and may have landed in the rocks or in the shallow end.
Honey, what kind of friend tries to urge you to jump off of a cliff? Okay, that's crazy. But let's keep going because this lady has something to say about that altercation. Lurk Squad, please cut it out. I don't think so because they found his body, beloved. Okay, and it seemed to be fully intact.
Nolan Wells left to go on a day trip to an island with his friends and never came back. And when the story of him being missing first got exposed to the world, it was almost like, oh, they were on the island together, everything was fine, he was talking to a girl, and then it was time to go, and his mates jumped on the boat, and they didn't realize that he wasn't with them. They thought he might be with his girlfriend or some girl, whatever. Oh, everything was fine, no problems. Wow, that one has already started to unravel because some footage has been uploaded onto the internet. Now, I'm going to play that footage for you, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss it. To eyewitnesses, that was Nolan and a group of his friends arguing on the beach. And if you go back and listen again, you'll hear swearing. You're not getting on the effing boat. So there was an argument on the beach. This footage has caught it. What happened after this argument? What happened to Nolan Wells? Why did he not make it back onto that boat after this argument? Like I said, there's more to unravel. And the more that I look at this story, the more I feel that Nolan was murdered. He was murdered. This is not a case of, oh, he accidentally drowned when he got left behind. He was murdered. Simple as. And these boys that he's arguing with on the beach, I'm telling you now, I feel it in my gut. There is more to this story. So I'm going to keep you updated as I learn more. Make sure you hit the follow button.
You know what? She says, now I want you all to pay attention to what she said, because the other guy's video, he claims that they said, Nolan, get on the boat. She says that it sounded like to her, they said, you're not getting on the boat. Now, what do you all think? Do you all think that possibly they refused to let him get on that boat because of the altercation? Okay, because of the altercation. I just find this all very interesting. Now, so they got into an argument, a heated argument, clearly, and then he doesn't turn up. He turns up. He's found dead. Okay, yeah, definitely some foul play here. But let's keep going. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
White woman who grew up in a predominantly black area where I've definitely been the only white person in the room on lots and lots and lots of occasions. I've never been in fear. I've never been afraid. I've never been worried about my safety. With that being said, as a white woman with biracial children, I don't give a fuck if it's their cousins. My boys will not be the only black child in the room. They won't. As a white woman who grew up in a predominantly black area,
Okay, y'all heard that. Now she even wouldn't want her own biracial child. Okay, out with a bunch of them. I find it all interesting. Now let's go to this report from Comedy Hype. We're going to go to two reports that they did. One of them they did yesterday, and then there's another one they did this morning. Hold on just a second. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to use an overlay on this because I don't have permission to be using this video. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
News, I'm Janava.
Black people have got to stop hanging out with groups of white people.
Breaking news coming out of Mississippi. It has now been confirmed that a young man who went missing on July 4th while partying with friends on an island has been confirmed to be 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Around 2 p.m. today, Wells' mother would confirm the unfortunate news with a post on her Facebook account. I want to thank our family, friends, community, United Cajun Navy, local law enforcement, and everyone involved for all the love, support, resources over the last few days. His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. I'm heartbroken for my sweet son, who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. I ask that you please give me and my family time to grieve. Now, for those who haven't been following, the story starts on July 4th on an island in Mississippi called Horn Island, where a group of teens and young adults look to have hung out on the remote island's beachfront, a part of the day celebration. Now, according to reports, a black teen by the name of Nolan Wells wouldn't end up coming home that day and was reportedly last seen around 3 p.m. on the island. His mother would first let her followers know when Nolan first went missing. Please be on the lookout for Nolan. Last seen was west tip north side of Horn Island today around 3 p.m., wearing blue shorts and sunglasses. It's unclear if he made it back on land. Please message me if you have seen him or have any information about his whereabouts at or after 4 p.m. Now, as the days continued, authorities would continue their search all the way up to Monday morning at 8:45 p.m. when a body that reportedly washed ashore was found by a park ranger on the west point of the island. Now, what has angered many who have been following are the questions. What happened to Nolan, and why did his group of friends, seen pictured here, leave him if they came together? Now, part of this unfortunate story, race appears to be a large part of the conversation, as many are pointing out that Wells looks to have been the only black person in his friend group. D.L. Hughley would take to a social media page to share an update on Nolan's body being found before it was identified, and he would sound off by zeroing in on Nolan's friends, who, according to reports, have not provided any key information. Hughley would go on to say, "They don't remember anything, fuck out of here, and why are they not in custody?" Now, as mentioned, it is unclear as to what took place at the time, but many black users would take to social media and express their reaction and speculation to the news.
My mama always told me, if you the only birthday candle at the birthday party, you not there for the birthday party, you there to be depressing. Huh? Nolan Wells and this whole entire thing down there in Mississippi look fishy. One of the boys' mama is a judge down there. Don't nobody know what happened.
We have to stop putting our kids in these sporting events, in these schools, in these environments where they are the anomaly. We have to stop doing it. Okay, you want your child to have the best education, the best experiences, the best everything. Yes, but they also need to be around their own culture. They need to.
Black people have got to stop hanging out with groups of white people. And I mean that. If you're going to
I thought he got on another boat. I didn't realize he was missing. Yeah, that's not sitting right with me because what
You mean you let your friend just get on a random ass fucking boat and everybody's in the comments like, oh, well, we boat hop. This is normal. This is normal. Nobody thought to go with them. And if it was 4th of July weekend and people were drinking and you saw that your friend was drinking, may or may not have been drinking, why would you allow him to get on a boat if you weren't with them? And don't get me wrong, I've been on a boat. I know cell service is shit. Most people leave their phone on dry land because, shit be flipping over. But if you was getting on another boat and you knew that there was no other way to contact him, again, why would you not get on the same fucking boat? And it'd be different and all the boats were just docked in one little area and you guys were just swimming and, you saw in and out, in and out, in and out. But again, this just is not sitting right. And then y'all didn't realize he was missing until it was time for you guys to go home. Like, y'all didn't sit here and think, oh, well, shit, where is he? Where could he have been? Why is he not back yet? We're taking shots and he's not here to take shots with. Where's my boy at? Like, y'all don't sit here and ask these kind of questions. Like, there's a rule. If you came with me, you're leaving with me. Like, I brought you here. I'm taking you home. You guys don't live by that shit?
Popular opinion, right? That young man, Nolan Wells, yeah, he was taken out by those white boys. Because who the fuck else would have done it? Like, there's one black boy on a boat with all white people, and the black boy is the only one that goes missing or ends up dead. This has happened so many times over the course of a decade. Black people will be the only ones in the room or on a boat with white people, and they always somehow seem to end up dead or in the water. And to the people, it's always the white people who do this shit. They want black people to be oblivious to the lynchings and the killings and the racism that happens to black people. They always want us to be oblivious and not make it a race thing when it is clear as day that it is always going to be a race thing. That boy was killed by those white people. The only issue is that living in this country that we live in, it's going to be hard for them to be prosecuted.
So let me get this right. Nolan Wells, an 18-year-old kid, goes missing at Horn Lake. And all y'all want to talk about is how, oh man, you're the black kid. Don't go out with nothing but whites. Y'all somehow turn this incident into a racism controversy. Yet again, y'all have sick, disgusting comments in every comment section, while this mother and this father and these friends that went out on this boat are losing their shit because this boy's missing. Yet y'all want to stay in the comment section and talk about, oh man, he should have knew better. He shouldn't have done that. Why?
Dude, your own people are saying that he shouldn't have been out there with them by himself. Second of all, he got dragged all up and through his own comments, okay, for talking crazy. Of course, everybody is suspicious, as should be. It's your history.
Because he grew up with them his entire life? They're best friends? It really triggers me how this world is just totally incompetent to just sit there and look every time there's a black person, a white person involved in something or something happens. It strictly goes to racism. That's
You know what? It really is interesting that he's proven her point. Okay, that last young lady, she said that they want us to be oblivious. That's exactly how he sounds. He wants us to be oblivious to the fact of their nefarious history, how many episodes and instances there's been black people that were the only black person amongst a group of them and nothing good came of it. Okay?
your number one output right now, while a mother and father are sitting at home wondering what happened to their child.
Now, as many continue to await details of what took place that day, one Facebook user who was on the island at the time would post a video of what appears to be Nolan on shore, reportedly after a large altercation took place around 4 p.m. on July 4th. For her caption, she would go on the right, taken at 4:01 p.m. north side, west tip, where we were parked right next to the boat Nolan was allegedly on. Hope this helps in any way. This was immediately after the big fight that broke out on the shore. I'm not sure if this is Nolan, but it could be. Anyone that can slow down videos, please go through it as well. Now, as of this writing, a DNA test has been conducted to double confirm that the body is that of Wells. Let's talk about a more common.
Now, no one is appearing to say just what this whole altercation on the shore was about. No one has said anything about as to what this altercation was about. Why were they arguing? What was going on? Okay. Now let's go to this next clip. They just did this one about an hour, almost an hour ago. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Of Pride Plus News, I'm Janaba. As reported on Monday, social media is currently reacting to a now mysterious death of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells. That he would go missing on a remote island on July 4th, in which his body would be found 2 days later on the island shore.
Why I'm going out there in the ocean for?
Amongst a group of white friends whom he traveled to the island by boat with.
Black people, stop going on motherfucking vacation with these white folks. Your white friends call you, say, hey, bud, what's up? Hey, you ain't going on vacation? No. Hell no. Because y'all keep going on them vacations, and they keep coming back home, and we can't find you. You got to tell them white people no right now. Not all of them, but some of you got to tell them no. I can't swim. Why I'm going out there in the ocean for?
Honey, we're late.
Where's my jacket?
Waiting again, huh?
The group of friends, along with Nolan, would travel to Horn Island, which is the island that sits about 10 miles from mainland Mississippi, to celebrate the 4th of July. Now, while there, the teens, along with others, would enjoy the beach's shore and water. At some point during their time there, an altercation has now been said to have taken place, just before Wells would go missing around 4 p.m. Now, what has raised many people's concerns are why did Nolan's friends leave without him, and what are the details of the altercation? One user on Facebook who shared that she was actually docked next to the boat Nolan was on would go on to note that the altercation took place amongst the friends, and at some point even on the boat they were on. Now, as mentioned, for many, race can't be overlooked, as some would express their lack of trust when it comes with being the only black person in certain settings, and they feel that Wells' disappearance is another example. Now, as people continue to question Nolan's white friends, whom he went to the island with, his black friends and best friend are now responding, explaining why they weren't with him at the time. On Monday, his best friend, Javon Williams, would join several of their peers at the boat dock where officials looked to have brought back Wells' body. There, Williams would speak to local outlet Sun Herald to give his reaction to the breaking news. According to Williams, he was supposed to be on the same boat with Wells, but it had got filled up and he rode on a different boat. Williams would go on to confirm that he did see Nolan on the island. As soon as we got out there, he told me that he loved me. Williams would also go on to say that he last saw Wells close to 4 p.m. And according to him, along with others, reports seeing Nolan with a girl while amongst their friends. Williams would also go on to share that he would end up leaving his phone with Wells' phone on the same boat in question, but would later retrieve his phone before going home. Now, outside of Williams' response, another friend by the name of Trace Carter would apparently give Nolan a warning to be safe before going to the island. According to Sun Herald, Carter would tell Wells, "Just hit me up when you get back. Just be careful, bro. Watch out for yourself." And in response, Wells will respond with, "I got you. I'll hit you up later." Now, according to that same report, it was also noted that Wells knew how to swim and had took lessons at a YMCA in Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Don't you all think it's interesting that his friend told him, be careful and watch out for yourself? Don't you all think that's interesting? That was his friend's discernment. Okay, I think that was his friend's discernment, because why would he just say that? Be careful, watch out for yourself. I always pay attention to the last things that someone says to a person that ends up dead, or the last thing that the person themselves says. Now, Ezel says, sorry, Queen Symbols, I can't resist. But notice the words, Carmelo, fear of God, and this one, Horn Island, horns of the devil's signs, Melchizedek priesthood, to love Yah, cover of darkness. Yeah, I did notice that. Not about the Horn Island specifically, but I definitely noticed it with Carmelo, that fear of God hoodie that he had on that day of the incident. Okay, so thank you for that, beloved. Interesting, right? Let's continue.
Where he lived. raising more concerns for some that foul play may be involved in his death. Back over on social media, Javon would continue reacting to the suspicious death of his friend. Over on TikTok, he would post a tribute to Nolan that read, "For all the times you accepted my calls, text me, checked up on me, hung out with me, laughed with me, I love you, brother." Followed by a response to one user who would comment, "Devastating," in which Javon would say he didn't deserve this shit. Williams would continue his grieving on his Instagram stories with a compilation video of Heat and Wells. Now, when it comes to the friends Wells would travel to the island with, they have been identified by social media users. However, it does appear that they have decided to remain quiet on their social pages, with each of them having their Instagram pages on private. Now, upon looking over Wells' Instagram page, this was not the first time he would jump on a boat with friends, as he posted previous adventures of himself on a boat with a similar group of people.
And I want you all to pay attention because here's the thing that's very interesting. So his real friend, Javon Williams, is posting things about him, to show that he misses him, that he cared about him and all of that. He's posting things on social media, but the fake friends, the frenemies, well, they've all just made their pages private and some of them have deactivated their pages. Okay. And they've gotten lawyers and they're not cooperating clearly. Okay. Now they say that allegedly Katie is cooperating, but the rest of them, they're not. So I find that all very interesting. They were not his real friends. And I think that this also makes them look guilty, whether they are or not. That's what it reeks of. Okay, because why is Javon is the one who's out here acting like he was really his friend and really cared about him, while the others are just like they're just full of it. Okay, but let's continue.
And I'm sorry, but the whole, well, I thought he got on another boat, I didn't realize he was missing. Yeah, that's
nobody remembers what happened. He went into the woods with a girl and we don't know what happened. So why did y'all leave him? Because I need it to be known that the one fact that we got for sure is they didn't report that baby missing until they got back home. They didn't call when they were getting ready to pack up the boat and come back home and realize, hey, we can't find Nolan. We've been looking for him for an hour. Come help us find him. They didn't report it until they got back home.
So the same thing that happened to Nolan Wells almost happened to me. I think I was like 22 years old working at Texas Roadhouse. You know what I mean? Young, silly. Forgot a couple of the things that my granddaddy told me when I was growing up. I thought these people were my friends. Another lesson my grandparents taught me when I was younger is that you don't have any friends. You know what I mean? You really do not. Like, my siblings were always my friends, and I learned that. At any rate, I signed up to go on this, little trip with these people. They let us know, okay, so we're going to get up on the bank right here, and then we're going to go see the waterfall. So I'm like, oh, okay, so but what we going to do at the waterfall? You know what I mean? Because I'm vibing, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. And they was like, we're just going to look at the, sit there, light a fire, smoke some more, drink some more. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get to the little spot where we pull up the canoes, we anchor them off and whatnot. And then they tell us, okay, so this little piece of water right here, we got to swim across that to get to the waterfall. So I get halfway through the water and I realize that, and I'm losing my strength slowly but surely. And at this point in time, I am calling out for help. No music is playing at this time. You know what I mean? None. Yeah, everybody was rambunctious, excited, whatever, but you could clearly hear me out there in the woods. It's still daylight. So I am screaming that I can't make it. Somebody please help me. They turn around, several of them look at me, say, you can do it. Come on, let's go. And they continue to walk off. At this point in time, I have already said my prayers and have already decided that I'm going to meet my maker. I scream one more time, I am going to drown, and I went down. I don't know can't remember who was and what just made them decide to change their mind and come back, but one person jumped in that water, grabbed me, pulled me up onto the bank, and mind you, they didn't do anything else after that and continued on their way. As young Black children, the same lesson that I'm sure you're telling all your children now, do not be the only one. And it really doesn't matter how people feel about that, because The concern is preservation of life. So for some reason, God saw fit to not allow me to lose my life that day. And for some reason, God called Nolan home. So I will say that despite what anybody feels about how you feel about the situation, please have that conversation with your children. And that's all I'm going to say. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells, and to his entire family.
According to Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter, who would speak when Wells' body was found, the case will be handled like any other cases, with a thorough investigation.
Number one, give the family space and time. They are still processing this tragic event. And all of Nolan's close friends, I'll assure you that the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, we're looking at this whole case just like we would any other case. And we're going to be as thorough as we can.
Now, as far as Nolan's family, they have set up a GoFundMe for all those wanting to show support after Wells' sudden passing. An autopsy has been scheduled to be performed today to help provide more answers. Let's talk about them in the comments below. Now that we've heard from Nolan's other friends, does it leave you with more questions? And what should happen next? Reporting live from Hypers Club.
Okay, so beloveds, I just dropped the link to his GoFundMe. Okay, I just dropped the link to his GoFundMe. Let me drop it again. Okay, now with that all being said, this is like a mystery. Okay, but let's go to what this attorney has to say about the judge that's involved in all of this, allegedly. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
Ashley Cole, who's a judge in.
Now, mind you, this is the same attorney from the Carmelo Anthony case who was down there in Frisco reporting and going off, okay, outside the courthouse.
Mississippi, who's also been identified as the stepmother of Warren Hudson. You know, one of the little boys that was on that boat when Nolan didn't come back. And now his family has to grieve and seek justice because of something that happened that they refused to cooperate with the family. But let me give you a little insight on why Judge Cole is exhibit 1 as to why this family needs their independent investigation. You see, it's attached to people who are judges, who are lawyers, firemen. We're talking about connections to cover shit up. Let's talk about her. One of the most important reasons why Nolan Wells' family is going to need an independent investigation is because of this lady. You may remember her because there was a case in Mississippi that involved exchanging children, and a mother was unalived by the child's father because Cole refused to allow her to exchange at a police station where it was safer. Instead, she was shot and unalived by said father during a drop-off. Y'all remember Aubrey Wyatt? This judge ordered her mother that she could not post anything online about her daughter's way out because it would bring too much attention. So when we're talking about an independent fucking investigation, she is red flag number 1. Yeah, if you think they are not covering shit up as we speak, she is exhibit number fucking danger 1. It just so happened her stepson was present during the last moments of Nolan's life, and they are refusing to cooperate and give the family answers. I have attached the family's GoFundMe because they're going to need the independent investigation, because I'd be damned if they play in the Wells face in broad fucking daylight.
Okay, and so the GoFundMe is already at like $85,000 and growing, and they're really going to need it, like she said. Okay, so give whatever you can. I'm sure we will be greatly appreciated. Okay, this is all real crazy. Okay, so now we have a judge involved. Okay, I've heard there's someone's family member who's a lawyer. So They definitely are covering this up. I'm willing to bet money. I don't know what that guy was talking about, saying that there's probably no foul play. He sounds crazy as hell. There's definitely some foul play, in my opinion.
The way this country talks about black victims versus white victims is disgusting. Nolan Wells' body was found yesterday off the coast of Mississippi. If you didn't know, he was presumed missing and dead on July 4th. It is America's 250th birthday, and we're still dealing with this bullshit. He was celebrating with his friends for the 4th of July, and there's now circulating video that is going very viral of what looks to be him and his friends that he went with on the beach, and there's an argument. There's yelling happening. In the video, he looks to be very calmly standing still looking at his buddies. And somehow, the conversation is about his behavior. Why wasn't he on the boat? Was he drinking? Was he going from one boat to another? Now, I'm going to give you a scenario. It's kind of morbid, so stick with me, and trigger warning. If I show up dead, washed on a beach, my community of people where I was born are not going to go, well, how was Jake acting? Did he stay where he was supposed to? Did he start an argument with people? No, it's going to go, what the fuck? We have someone that would kill people out here? Jake, I love that guy. He plays for the football team. I'm just putting myself in Nolan's shoes. Nolan plays for the team. He's friends with those people. And the conversation is about his behavior. Just so frustrating. Like, racism is still alive and well, just in the dialogue. Just in the dialogue. As simple as that. I just want this country to do better. And I see a future where we just stop with this bullshit and start going like, man, this kid was killed. Like, his on the 4th of July, he is celebrating with everyone. And he can't even do that. We can do better. We got to do better. Oh, and apparently one of the friends' moms is a local judge. And if you think that will work in Nolan's favor, you clearly don't know anything about the history of young black men in this country. This isn't going to go anywhere. We have to speak up about it. The way that
Okay, he's absolutely right. And that is exactly what they've been doing, trying to demonize Nolan. But this is no surprise. This is what they always do to black victims. You can literally be a whole victim, and they will paint you as though everything that happened to you was your fault somehow. Okay, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Xavier Wells' death is not an accident. Folks, this is a bullshit cover-up story in the making. And I'm sorry, Mom, to use foul language, but let me break something down for y'all like Windex on glass. I am 25 years old. I pay my own bills. I drive my own car. I am an independent nigga. My homeboys and I can go to the local bowling alley in the city of Houston, a place that we grew up in. If any one of them niggas had to go to the restroom, we know you in that restroom. If any one of them said, hey, I need to step out and make a phone call, we know you outside making that phone call. And let me break it down even further. If you're outside too long, we coming outside to make sure you all right. If you in that restroom too long, we making sure you all right. So the idea that Nolan goes out on a boat ride with his friends in Mississippi and does not return with them, and none of them know who, none of them know where, none of them know why, don't sit right with me. Because I think about my dynamic with my friends. And the idea that you can go on a boat ride and he end up dead and y'all don't know how, and well, he was with her and well, you killed him. And you'd have to be Houdini to believe any other trick. You killed him. Because what kind of true friends would leave him behind? Unless y'all played a role in this madness. And now we got a bullshit cover-up story brewing. They killed that boy and I down that hill. Nolan
Okay, that's just the gist of it. I absolutely believe it. Okay, it's not making any sense. And these people were not his real friends because they seem so unbothered, so unconcerned, not even calling the family to offer condolences, to offer their sympathies, not cooperating, won't even speak to them, dead silence. This is just like Shamika Robinson's friends. Or I'm sorry, Shanquela. Shanquella Robinson. This is just like her friends. When they came back, everybody got quiet. Now everybody's getting lawyers. Nobody has anything to say. Nobody knows what happened. And they're not the ones that came out and even said that there was an altercation. We found that out when the person released the video footage. They're definitely covering this up, and we are likely never going to get to the truth because they're already trying to paint the narrative. And you don't see this being covered in the mainstream media either. Okay, the information you're seeing is coming from social media people that are reporting on it. Okay, this is not getting any media coverage, period. Maybe locally on their news.
People, if you had to put your child in a room with all white kids or all Hispanic kids or all Asian kids, which would you choose? We already know the answer. I know the one thing white America can't stand is being told their version of this country is a lie. They get irate when we name the history. They get irate when we name what's still happening now. So let me say the quiet part, the part that they hate the most. For years, I sent my sons to schools in the best areas. The schools were whiter. The schools were supposed to be safer. But I was never afraid of the young Black men we'd see outside the 7-Eleven, the ones they keep trying to call thugs, the ones with the sagging pants, the ones that they try to convince us are horrible. I've been afraid of the boys in the khaki pants and the polo shirts. Years of entitlement wrapped up like a birthday gift they never had to ask for. Because my sons had the talk about race, not once, all the time. Not because it was godly, not because it was kind, because it was survival. Because get home safe was a prayer, not just a phrase. Those boys in polos, nobody prepped them for a world with people who didn't look like them. No one taught them the cost of their own bad behavior. It was always protected, always excused, always somebody else's fault. And the parents I sat next to at PTA meetings, at bake sales, over coffee, they had no idea. I was afraid of their sons. We know the answer. We've always known the answer. And we are done pretending.
Okay. I absolutely agree. Now, with that being said, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
I'm going to say nothing about this Nolan situation, this little boy that got lost out at Horn Island yesterday, because I just hate to see motherfuckers making videos about somebody else's trauma just to get a damn dollar. But I'm just going to go ahead and take it too far, because that's where you always find the truth. I think that every phone of every fucking kid that was around him yesterday needs their phone taken and confiscated by a government department, okay? Not their parents. Number two, I want to know who the parents of these kids are. Are any of them lawyers? Just asking for a friend. Do any of them work for DMR? Do any of them work for the City of Ocean Springs, Education Department, City Department, any kind of government-y positions on the children? Moving on. Obviously, who the fuck leaves their friend on a damn island? Some lady on the internet just said, the last time that he was seen, the friend said, "Hey, Nolan, get on the boat." Okay, and then what? What did Nolan say? What? No, I'm trying to get Katie's number. No, I left my koozie over here at this other boat. Hold on, let me go tell my homeboy over here we're leaving. What happened after that? Since we know they told him to get on the boat, what did he say when they told him? I think Katie's irrelevant. I don't think she has a leg in this race. I don't know none of these folks. But I just think poor little Katie really ain't got nothing to do with it unless they didn't want to see that cute little boy out there with that little girl. And there's some weird shit going on in the deep south of Mississippi. Anyway, moving on. I just don't understand it, because the little boy Nolan does not seem like the kind of person that would have said, "No, I'm good. I'll just find a ride from an island with a stranger." The boy was in sports. He cared about his grades. He cared about his well-being. He always showed up to school on time and was an outstanding citizen. To be honest with you, I don't get that kind of energy that he was like, nah, I ain't getting on the boat. I ain't done yet. I'm not getting that energy. And again, I don't know this person, but I got some wow friends myself, okay? I almost had to drag my little friend Christy up out the damn hard rock pool last weekend because she wasn't ready to go. But guess what? We came together. It's time to go. You're leaving with me. Not everybody's like that, and that's fine. That's fine. But, the math ain't mathing. And I think that the most important characters in the whole fucking plot are too quiet. I haven't even looked up the people involved. I'm just following posts that are being made in comments. But, man, this is the most murdering motherfucking story out of Mississippi I've ever heard. I wasn't going to say nothing about
Let me tell y'all something. So she's saying that they didn't say what happened after he was talking to Katie. Here's the thing. I just don't believe his friends. I think they're lying. I think that during that argument, they likely did tell him, you're not getting on the boat. But of course, they're not going to say that. So they likely said that we told him to get on the boat to make it look good. Oh, we told him to get on the boat, but he was off with Katie. So you didn't know whether or not he'd be able to fit on the boat that Katie came on? Did they even know that? Because remember, he was supposed to be on a boat with Javon Williams, but that boat got full. So how would they know that the other boat wasn't full and that he would have room to be on there? Why would they just leave him? Like, that just all sounds real sketchy. Okay, Lady A for real says, it's definitely going to go worldwide. It has to. And I'm so glad that you cover things like this. Shout out to you. I'm over here all the time watching your content. Thank you, beloved, for your kind words. I appreciate you. Okay, peace, love, and blessings. Now let's go to this next clip. Because I hope that the truth eventually comes out. And I'm just not thinking that it's going to. Because these people are already in the whole cover-up, lawyered up. Mom's a judge. Okay, all kinds of things going down. And the judge, there's no telling what type of connections she has. So you know there's going to be more dirty politics involved, just like in the case of Carmelo Anthony.
Nolan Wells was pronounced unalive and his body was found. His friends would be putting out posts saying, rest in peace, oh my God, something. But no, everybody is dead silent. Every last person that was there has deleted their Instagram, their Facebook, their social media. Everybody's gone quiet, including the parents. Okay, y'all, including the parents, including a judge, okay, attached to one of those kids. Everybody's going media silent. It only raises questions about this video that was being circulated on the internet with Nolan on the beach with those friends. And there's an argument that breaks out. Okay, Nolan is standing to the side and there's a group of other kids looking at him. What was that argument about? Katie also spoke with someone saying that she did not get on the boat with Nolan. She got on a boat with someone else because her friends and family told her to get her ass on. Nolan was supposed to get on a boat with his friends. It never happened. She doesn't know what happened. I'm going to say that.
Now let's stop right there for a second and unpack this. So Katie is saying that she thought Nolan was getting on the boat with his friends. So apparently in her, from what she's saying, he was never supposed to get on the boat with her. So why are his friends saying that he was talking with Katie and they assumed or thought that he was going to get on the boat with Katie? Where would they have gotten that from? Why would they have thought that? Did they just make that up? This is what makes me think that they told him he wasn't getting on the boat when they were arguing. Okay, but let's keep listening.
Is as honest as possible. If you're the only Black person in the friend group, there is a problem because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the victim. That's just it. Now, next up is the autopsy. And I hope they don't use anybody near that fucking place. Use somebody else and make sure they Black. You would think that after Nolan Wells was pronounced unalive and his body was found.
There's a lot of twists and turns to this story. I don't know where it's going to go, but we're going to have to keep digging to get to the truth. Okay? Because the devils are definitely hiding it. They are definitely hiding it. There's Nolan down there in the water. I don't know, beloveds. What do you all think? Does anyone have any ideas, any suggestions? She Built Journal says, we keep telling these people, keep friends of your own race. I believe he was an immigrant because Black American kids know better. No, they don't. No, they don't, She Built Journal. Black American kids don't know better. And you should not assume that, because if you assume that, then you wouldn't be enlightening them and telling them better, beloved. Okay, they don't know better. This happens to African American kids all of the time. Okay, I told you all years ago, back in 2020, about a friend of mine that I've known since high school, what happened to her son when he was out with his all-white tea friends. So no, they don't. Let's not act like it's just foreigners, okay? Black people, FBA, whatever you want to call them, sometimes do things that they shouldn't do and are unaware and naive. Okay, that young man, his parents, and someone was saying that he was part Asian. His mom looks Black, and so does his father. Unless his mom's half Asian or something like that, but I doubt it. Okay, so 57 Beige Fox said the white boys ain't telling the truth. No, they absolutely are not. I absolutely don't believe it. Okay, Deanna says, yes, the coroner's report, if true, will reveal other clues. If we can get to the truth of it, but I think his family needs to have their own independent autopsy done, because we don't know if everybody that's covering this up is going to even have a hand or have a say-so in the medical examiner's report. Okay? Pathways and Prophecy says, I think they're taking score and are mad about the Carmelo case. Of course. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. Okay, this absolutely could have been something to do with it. Okay, with the Carmelo case. You all didn't think about that? Because that's exactly what I was thinking. Okay, because we know how they get down. And let's not forget that I told you all the story of Michael Donald when he was lynched by those Klansmen. They did so because a Black man was accused of murdering a white man and he got acquitted. And so they wanted revenge. Okay, so you just never know what these people are up to at the end of the day. Okay, Silversman says FBAs get killed by them folks too. So stop the bullshit about immigrants. Exactly, they definitely do. They definitely do. Mia said she's Cambodian. Is she? Okay. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking. Anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. I will probably be back around 6:30 or 7 this evening. Okay, so if you don't get a notification, please check the channel, check the community tags, the community tab, and or my X accounts. Okay, Pathways and Prophecy said, I heard she was Black, not Asian. I mean, she just looks Black to me. She doesn't look Cambodian or anything. She just looks Black. Okay, so now that doesn't mean she isn't, but I'm just saying how she looks to me. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
With that soul all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got